Hello, and welcome back to Christine's Mom Picks. I am Christine. Today, I want to talk about starting solids, and specifically, I want to talk about the tools you need to start solids. So, Weston is 9.5 months right now, and we started solids about when he was 6 months or so. I think we just kind of waited for our pediatrician to give us that green light. She did give us the green light a little bit earlier, like kind of around 4 months. And I don't know about you, but I am one of those moms. I was a little hesitant because I'm a little anxious. I was like, I don't know, the whole idea of a baby choking. So I was like freaking out about. I did take those CPR classes, part of kind of like my training for becoming a mom. But I don't know, it was a new experience I haven't gone through. So I was kind of like holding back as long as I could. But once I hit that 6 month mark, Weston just seemed more interested in food. He was, every time I'd eat, he'd be looking at it and kind of like reach out for it. So I was like, you know what? It's time. Let's get over my fears and let's give this baby some food. So I want to talk about all the different tools we're using. And when I talk about tools, I'm talking about like bibs and cups and all of that kind of thing, just because there's a lot to buy when it comes to a baby. There's just like when you think you have everything, they enter a new milestone, a new stage of life, and you're like, oh, wait, I have more to buy. So I'm just going to show you kind of things that I love, things that I don't think you need, and we'll just go from there. So, first thing, when you're feeding a baby, you're going to need a bib. There are two different types of bibs I recommend. So the first one is something like this. This is something I use when Weston is eating drier or cleaner food. So basically, pro tip, what I like to do is I like to take a paper towel, kind of fold it in whatever clothing he's wearing, and then put this on, because even when he's wearing this bib, it somehow still gets all around the collar, all the food, and then it stains the clothing sometimes. So I was just so sick of having to change him after every meal that I've found that when I do that, I don't have to change him. It's clean. And then I also like to roll up his sleeves because he's constantly moving his hand on the high chair, and that can definitely get in the way. So, anyways, I love this when I'm feeding him any like cereal or like any granola bars that I've made. Soft ones, obviously. Just anything like that that's clean. I do feel like I get a good use out of this. And then the other bib I recommend is this guy. This is the full sleeve, full high neck. I still put that paper towel just because it still slips down, but it Velcros right here so that you can adjust it like accordingly to your baby. But this is something I highly recommend. It is got that like waterproof material so it doesn't get their clothes dirty. I use this when I feed him yogurt or cottage cheese, or if I want to try to give him something like a pouch, because he loves his pouches, or just like the baby puree food I make, but it gets so messy. So I love to whip out this guy when it's time for those messier items. So I do think between the two, I probably use this one more just because I do give a lot of that like cottage cheese yogurt kind of meal. But this does come in handy as well. I got this one. So this is a brand called Lalo. This is the high chair right here. This is the high chair I'm using. This also comes with if you do their bundle, you can get like their first bites pack, and this comes with it. Gonna be completely honest, don't do it. I love the high chair, and I'll talk about that high chair in a second. This first bites pack, like this bib specifically, I feel like comes down so low, and it's so expensive for what you get. I'm going to link another version that I have that is from Amazon that I totally recommend. The Amazon one, honestly, I think is better quality, like a fraction of the price, and it is just cuter color. I don't know. So those, having a bib is a must. All right, the next must is the high chair that I'm talking about. I love this high chair. This high chair is great because one, it's convertible. The reason why I picked my crib is it's because it's long lasting. It converts into a toddler bed. This converts into a toddler chair. So you can buy shorter legs for this, and it turns, and you can have like a little table so that when your baby does outgrow the high chair, now they can keep using this chair, because it is on the pricier point. So I wanted to make sure if I'm going to spend a little bit more money, I get a lot of use out of it. So that's what drew me to this one. I love this. Yes. So the fact that it's convertible, I definitely recommend getting the infant insert. I'll show you a picture right here. We have the infant insert, and Weston will probably use it for a while, because I did try to take it out and see what it was like. And he was kind of like eating dinner and like back here, kind of having a difficult time trying to reach across the whole like high chair plate portion. So I definitely recommend getting the infant insert when you get this. I like that it's easy to clean, easy to assemble, It doesn't take up too much room. We do have a smaller kitchen and a smaller eating area. So that's also why I like this one. It's like I don't feel like it's super bulky, and it's just like pretty clean looking. Like I love that like minimalist kind of look. So I think that achieves it. So definitely would recommend this. But again, just buy the high chair. I don't think it's worth, unless you can get that First Bites kit for free. I don't think it's worth buying the First Bites kit. I would just buy the Amazon version. Okay, next thing I recommend when it comes to starting solids, so this is kind of a two-piece part, and there are two different links. So the first thing is, I've shown this on my breastfeeding video, but this is what I like to do is freeze little half ounces of breast milk. And I like this because Weston is teething, and part of the kit that I got off Amazon, it comes with this little teeter, pretty much like a lollipop. So I take one of the tubes, I take it out of here, I pull this apart, I put the breast milk in here, I close it, and then I give it to Weston while he's wearing like the big bib, and that allows him to soothe his gums, and it gets the breast milk in it, so it's kind of like giving the cooling feeling for his gums. It's feeding him at the same time. So this I really recommend, especially if your baby's teething and if they're fussy during the teething time, which obviously is a painful time for them. This is great, and that is also where this comes in. I also love this. As I mentioned in other videos, that it's great for like topping off a bottle. So if you want to, like, if your baby still seems hungry, but you don't think you need to like unthaw or like give him more milk, like a full other bag of milk, this like allows you to just give like a half ounce at a time. So then again, like you're not wasting milk, because breastfeeding is a lot of work, like especially if you're pumping and you just, I don't know, I'm not a fan of pumping. So to me, I'm like, please don't waste any of the milk. And yeah, so these two are great for the feeding journey and like getting them started in the high chair. Then once they get like, yeah, they're ready for solids, you make your oatmeal or you make any kind of puree, and that's what you're getting started with. This bowl is what comes in my Amazon kit. I like this one a lot because it is very versatile. I've put cereal in it, I've put the purees, I've put just pretty much anything you can think of in here. I like this one. Be cautious though. There is a new kind of like warning out there that some babies can hold it and get their face stuck in it. So make sure you're monitoring. I mean, you should be monitoring your baby while they're eating anyways, but especially when it comes to this bowl, because you don't want any suffocation. But I do really like this. One thing I am going to say though, everything I've purchased that has this like suction thing, it suctions to everything except for the high chair. So this, I'll place it on the countertop, suctions right there. I'll place it on my kitchen table, it suctions there. I place it onto the high chair and it just falls right off. So the suction portion does not work, not even the nicer brand stuff that I have. So I don't know if it's just the material of the high chair. And I did ask my friends who have the Stoke, that's the like other really popular high chair. They have the same issue. So I don't know if it's just like that plastic material. Just the suction doesn't work. But this bowl is a really big must. It also came with a fork and a spoon, and I love these ones. I use these ones all the time, and I love it because it has a stopper, because Weston does love to feed himself. So like scoop something up for him, hand it to him, and he's constantly like chewing on it. And I like it because I don't feel like he's going to swallow it and choke on it, because it has that stopper. And it's got some great grippers for him to like really like hold on to it. So these are other tools you'll definitely want, because you will have to feed the baby somehow. The cottage cheese has to get in their mouth some way. So love having these. Now that he is 9 months, I have kind of graduated from, I don't know, just the bowl to now we are serving on the plate. This is from the Lalo collection, my First Bites. The Amazon one comes with it as well. They're both great. I like them both. But what I like about this is I can put like a protein, a dairy, and like his main item that I make for him right there. And it's really cool to watch them, especially when they get their pincher grabs. Like you can watch them just like feed themselves and pick, like, I don't know, you can see what they like and see what they don't like. It's really cool just to see them feed themselves. I don't know, it's such a milestone, because like watching him so delicately like pick something up and plop it in his mouth, it's so cute. So having a plate like this is great. I didn't introduce this until 9 months, so I don't think you need this right off the bat. I do think you need the bowl right off the bat, because that is something that's how you can feed your purees. I do also think that I just put food on the tray. I don't put just purees on there. That's why you need the bowl, or like this, some kind of serving dish for liquid items like that. But when it comes to like baby cereal or puffs or anything like little smoothie melts, I'll just put that directly on the tray, because I mean, I sterilize it, clean it down every single time. So it's a clean surface. So I figured, why waste a dirty dish? And he likes it. So that is, yeah, so having your serving ware and also just utilizing your high chair tray is great. Okay, so this one is, I would say, a completely nice to have. You definitely do not need to get it. It is this bad boy right here. It's the NutriBullet for baby. So basically what I love about this is it steams and purees your food. So I would just cut up, like, let's just say I put a sweet potato. It comes with a manual, so it tells you how much water to put in here. You just turn it to the knob of, like, if you want to steam it or pulse and kind of blend it, and it does it for you. And it tells you how much water, how long it has to be. It's really easy to use. I thought making baby food was gonna be such a daunting task. I was like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have the time. This just does it for you. All you have to do is cut up your veggies or fruits, plop it in there, and it does the hard work for you. And then with this, you obviously are gonna need some jars to keep the food. So I got these glass jars off of Amazon. It's like a pack of 6. I love them. And I love them because each one comes with a different color lid. And I think that's great because when it has a different color lid, it, like, you can kind of identify the different foods because, I don't know, let's just say you put carrots in one, you put like sweet potatoes in the other, and you don't want to write on the thing, you can write on the jar. This just makes it easy and identifiable. So having these two together are nice to haves. I think I'm going to get more use out of it, more than just using it for purees. Now that he started daycare, if I make anything for lunch, dinner, I'm just going to use this almost like a Tupperware. And I like it because since it's glass, it's easy for them to heat up in the microwave, and I don't have to buy like more Tupperware specifically for Weston for daycare. So this is multi-use. I think this is almost a must, depending on how you're feeding your baby. And then this, I think, it's a nice to have. You can totally skip it if you are like, you know what, I'm just gonna go the pouch route, or hey, I've got a stove, I've got a pot, I can smash and steam my own veggies. I don't need this fancy gadget. So, because this is, I want to say, like $100 or so. So if you don't want to spend the $100, don't do it. And then last but not least, this is something we are still working on, the sippy cup. So the sippy cup is something that I know since he just started daycare, his next level up, they will be only using sippy cups versus a milk bottle. So I'm really trying to teach him how to use it, but he is still like, we handed this to him, he grabs it by the straw and then like we'll fling it, and then the water gets all over the wall, and so much fun to clean up. But I mean, he's got to learn, he's got to practice. So this is something we are currently working on. He hasn't mastered it yet, but he's only 9.5 months. He's got so much time. Anyways, I hope this was super helpful in all the tools that we've been using to introduce solids. Again, it's just very basic stuff. You don't need too much. A lot of it's very affordable off Amazon. You don't need to spend like a ton of money to get this nice high chair. You can definitely find other options online. This, again, I just chose it because I love the aesthetic of it, and I also love the versatility of it by having it adjust to a toddler chair. But again, all you need is a high chair. Something I wish we bought but that we didn't get was called an upseat. And what it is, it's basically a kind of travel high chair. And what I like about it is it has a great posture for your baby. So it doesn't allow your baby to kind of like sit back here and like kind of get a like hump on their back. It makes their spine nice and straight. And I like it because you can just put it on top of your countertop. Obviously, like when I say countertop, like if you have a huge island and you put it in the center, so there's no way it could like roll off, or same with like if you have a large kitchen table. We don't have either of those, so it didn't make sense for us. We have very shallow countertops and we have a small table, so I'm like, this isn't safe for our house, but you can also put it on the floor. I feel like that's probably the best place to put it, but you can put it on the floor, and it's great if you're traveling a lot and you want to make sure that you're still feeding the solids. But there is that phase of where they're too small for an actual high chair when you go out to dinner, but they fit in the one you have at home because you've got that infant insert, so it's kind of has that ability to tailor to a smaller child. So again, I hope this was all super helpful. Put in the comments if you're using anything for your starting solids journey, any tools that you've really liked. I would love to learn more because, again, I will hopefully have future kids one day. And I mean, I'm always willing to try new things, but this is what I found works really well for our family and for Weston. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications because I post every Sunday. So I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye.